go outside into the door area, right? And I remember there was these three dudes, okay? And obviously ethnicity doesn't matter, but like, shit. So there was like some cool, there was some like, my man, cool, just like, they're funny. Every comment that comes out of their mouth are just cracking jokes, right? It's like, like, those kids that are always walking around like, commenting on everything like lanky, he's like, like I'm walking around, he's calling me a lanky ass, everything's a joke, right? Everything's just, you just want to crack the fuck up and like smoke a blunt with the guy. He's just funny as fuck, right? So these are the three dudes, right? Like they're setting the fight up and they're just just dropping like one-liners that are just hilarious. And I can't stop laughing. I'm fucked up. And this guy, he squares up. Everyone has their camera phone out. The whole party's in the hallway. And the hallways are narrow. We're talking maximum like, the hallways are like 4 feet across, right? Just weird stuff. Anyway, so me and this guy, he's like he's huge, right? He's easily got 9 inches on me, right? Height-wise. And he's easily got like 30 or 40 pounds on me. He's a big guy, right? We square up and I don't know, bro, listen, I'm confident in my fighting skills. I'm confident in them, right? I have a lot of experience, but what happened this night, even to this day, I play back and I don't know how to justify what happened. I think, a lot of us, I think we've had that feeling where like someone fucks with us and we think about like, I wish I had superpowers where like they walk up and you can just flick them away and they fucking fly back and it's like, oh, right? This was a situation where that kind of happened, right? Except it wasn't super strength. It was like some Neo from the Matrix dodging. Usually my style is very simple, okay? I have a big head, a very bony head, like pretty much the way it looks, it is, right? It just, this thing, and maybe I'm a dumbass for it. Maybe I've lost some brain cells because of it. But usually in a fight, I dip and dodge. But usually I'll sacrifice the 1 or 2 direct hits to my face just to get in with the guy and get him into a chokehold and fuck him up, right? That's usually my style, right? So that's why like that night was so crazy to me. So I remember we were squared up and I was so fucked up, right? I was probably at the level right before you get the spins and you need to throw up, right? The level where you start getting a thick saliva and you cannot, I don't care how much you drink, you can't stop it. You're getting the spins and you're throwing up. I was the level right before that, and that level is amazing. That level, you probably can convince yourself you can fly, right? That's where I was at. And bro, I just remember, like, even though I was so fucked up, I remember just so clearly, man, like this guy, like when he was throwing punches, have you seen those like TV series with Superman where he can just like, he sees the punch and he can just like look at it? You know what I'm talking about? He's looking at the fucking punch that's going by. Listen, I shit you not, this was me. I keep playing it back in my head because I know, even though I'm confident in my shit, I know I could never, call it what you want. I know I can never reciprocate what I did. It was so insane to me, bro. This guy is throwing punches and I shit you not only am I dodging them, but I'm cracking up. That's how cocky I was. I was laughing. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I'm laughing as I'm looking at his punches and dodging and dipping. And in between all of that, somehow, in that millisecond time, I'm also throwing jabs and just fucking him up. And I'm cracking up the whole time. Like, I remember this so clearly. And to this day, I'm still perplexed. I still don't understand what happened. It's as if a computer program uploaded into my mind Matrix style in that fight. Like, I should not have won that. And that was that, dude. And the dudes were recording, and the 3 guys were commentating and laughing too, and that's probably why I was cracking up. And here's the crazy part. So, during all of that, somehow the fight, before we got outside, before we moved outside, we got into a scuffle on the way outside. So this is before the fight ended. When we're in the kitchen moving the fight to the corridor area, to the hallway, I remember I threw a punch and I missed him and I hit the bathroom door. And these apartments, most of these college dorm apartments, I don't care how expensive they are, the walls and the doors are paper thin. You could probably barely tap it and you're going to have a dent in it, right? It's just very thin. And when I punched it, I remember I took my arm out and you could see a hole in the door. And this is the part that's going to sound like the movie that I was talking about earlier. The whole night I was wondering where my friend was, okay? And I punched the door, and I take my arm out, and we look inside the hole, and my friend, all we see are his ass cheeks. And he's clapping this girl that lives in the apartment just on the sink. And that's where my friend was. And he looks like, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, get out here, I'm about to fucking throw down. He's like, oh shit, I'm coming.
Hello, good morning. Today is Thursday, June 18th, and welcome to the Opochtli Podcast. You're just listening to TrainwrecksTV. He got in a fight, apparently. He was going over the story, and he talked about a lot of the socio-political circles that were in place when he was in middle school and high school, and how he lived both of the spectrums, you know, with being the very popular kid and being the loser piece of shit, you know. And I was listening to that this morning, and it kind of resonated with me because I've kind of felt that way too at times. You know, I went from not being maybe a popular kid, but being a kid that knows all the cool kids, you know, that was friends with all the cool kids. So maybe I wasn't a cool kid myself, but, you know, I grew up with we were, lived together for many years in the same neighborhood. And then what ended up happening was we moved, you know, and then I became the poor kid, you know, and then I lost those friendships and became the loser at a new school, and, you know, I had no friends. People would bully me, and then I became friends with, you know, the kids that were not so cool, you know. Well, yeah, I didn't become friends with let's just say I became friends with everybody, you know, like, everyone was my friend, you know. I didn't really have many enemies, you know, but I did get bullied, you know, at the very beginning, from day one. But, you know, I had friends you know, I had the not so cool kids, the kids in the middle, and I had some cool kids that were my friends too. You know, and eventually I won people over, you know, but at first I was bullied. You know, and this was when I was 13, 8th grade. You know, it's not a very good time to learn these things, you know. Maybe it's the best time, but, you know, I struggled a lot back in the day, you know, and very conscious, very aware of my surroundings, and, you know, all these little tendencies that people have. You know, I became very aware of everything around me around this time. Yeah, so I don't know. It's crazy just to look back at it, and, you know, especially now, you know. But yeah, I don't know, that resonated with me. You know, I like TrainwrecksTV. I've been watching them for a couple of years now. More recently. And honestly, I don't know too much about him, just because I don't know too much about him, just simply because I just haven't looked into him. But I know, like, he's friends with, like, Greek God X. You know, I know he has his Trainwrecks podcast. I really like his podcast, actually. Excuse me. It was something I've had the idea of doing at some point, but I don't know. I don't spend enough time on the internet. Like, if I had a job where it was salaried, I had, like, one thing to do, you know, and I had the rest of the day to myself, you know, hell yeah, I would spend all day, and I would start building community. And just like I did when I was, you know. I think, well, around that time, you know, around the time when I had to move schools, and then I became more introverted. I became more dependent on technology, which was, at that time, my computer and cell phones. You know, like, that's when cell phones started becoming a popular thing, you know, and I was one of the few kids at that time who had a cell phone, simply because I had to have one to get around, you know, because I lived so far away from school, you know, I had to get rides and had to check in with my parents, yada yada. Where was I going with that? My car is effed. I don't know what's going on with it now, but I gotta get it checked out. It's making noises, squealing now. I need to get a new car real soon. Oh man. Yeah. Sorry about that. So I'm just trying to, let's just change the subject. I want to talk about Phillip Solo. He's a YouTuber, obviously, you know, and I've been watching him for a while, you know, maybe less than a year. He's from Vancouver, Canada. You know, and I really enjoy his channels, you know, and I found his channels during a time where I hit this this rabbit hole, I guess you could say, of content creators who did reviews of the best things, right? I think probably the most notorious one that I was watching was the one with I forget his name. He's a rapper. 2 Chainz. I think it's 2 Chainz, where he would watch the most expensive thing, or, you know, try the most expensive things, you know. So I was watching those kind of videos, and then completely off course, I ran into one of his videos, which was like the worst reviewed restaurant in my city. And at the time, I was kind of thinking of like stuff I could do on my channel. Wow. Weird. What's it doing? Maybe it's running out of gas. Doesn't have I don't think my gauge works, so I don't know. I might have a broken car here on my podcast. I guess we'll see here. But anyways, let me just wrap up the story. So he he has a totally different past life, you know, that I didn't know about. So he you know, I really like him as a content creator. He seems down to earth, genuine, and he has a dark gothic style, which I like. Dark sense of humor, you know, and he always had these like witty little tongue-in-cheek, you know, little plays that he would use, you know, like little words that he would say, you know. He would just like find stuff and just like wordplay, you know, make raps and whatnot. So I really enjoyed him. But turns out that he actually was a rapper in a past life. Like he was like a battle rapper, you know. And I watched him on this video where he was rap battling against some dude, and the guy was really an eccentric, you know, one of those dudes who relies a lot on his energy. And I've dealt with a lot of these guys, you know, back in the day, where you can't even form a coherent thought against them because they're just their style is just to yell at you to, you know, they get it's a tactic that they do to get you distracted, you know. And me as a, you know, ESL, English as a second language person, you know, sometimes it's just hard for me to express my thoughts off the cuff, you know. And I think just because how I learned my language growing up, it's not like maybe I'm not dumb, maybe I am dumb, you know. I just am not. I've never been that kind of a witty person, you know. Just because when I want to say something, you know, I don't necessarily know how to say it right away until I process it a little bit. And I think it has to do something with that translation between Spanish and English as a primary language. But anyways, Phillip Solo TV, you know, I ran into this video, you know, where he ends it, and he's basically, you know, I don't remember the exact lyrics, and I wish I could play them right now. Actually, why don't I play them right now? Hold on, I'll do that.
Tell that little faggot thesaurus to catch me outside. How about that?
Looking like a Caribbean-looking motherfucker. Jack Sparrow shit. Yo, with this art of my genius, I don't think this, hold on. With this art of my genius, you jerk off so much you probably have scars on your penis. Yo, you stay soft as a bitch. You say lost, but listen, you fucking, all you got is 8 balls at your crib, sniffing them all night, yo. You look like a fucking stray dog that is face swapped with a chick. What else?
Hey guys, sorry I had to, I'm gonna kind of have to redo this. I was kind of talking there for a while, but this stupid software, man, well, you know, whatever. This software isn't ideal, does the job, whatever, I get it, but I just want to rant a little bit about that. But I'm not going to do the entire Phillip Solo battle. I had some of it included and I had to edit some of it out, and apparently cut all of it out, and I almost lost the entire podcast. So with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off here, and I will do a follow-up to Phillip Solo's rap career before whatever, but I just, a lot of respect for him, because he was getting abused, he was going through a middleman, you know, and getting, you know, he realized that he can make everything he was doing on his own, went out and did it. Now he's doing a completely different art form, but he's doing it in a way where he's benefiting financially out of it. And he's still including his love of wordplay, rap, poetry, however you like to call it. He's still doing that in his new art form. So he high respect for him, because he was able to quit what he was doing, which sounded like he was doing pretty good for himself. he was able to quit that life and just move on with something that maybe he's more passionate about, he enjoys, he gets more, personal fulfillment instead of what he was doing before, and I know he's battled through a lot of demons, he's gone through a lot of stuff that I didn't know about. But yeah, overall, he's a good guy. I really like him. He seems down to earth. I've been on a few of his live streams. He's a really good guy overall. But yeah, I'll upload the rest of that later and follow up, because I think it's a really interesting story. But yeah, anyways, today I wasn't on my way to work. I was actually on my way home. That's because I left my laptop at my office during a shift I had to work, the last shift I had to work, where I didn't even have to be, I shouldn't have had to be there, so forgot my stupid laptop, now I had to drive in for no reason. But anyways, I'm here, I'm gonna clock in and then do my stupid shift here from my home office, but it's just kind of funny to me because I get there, it's early in the morning, and what do I hear the baby boomer doing? First of all, he doesn't say hi or anything, rude ass mother effer. Second of all, he's on a personal call, and it's the same shit every time, it's like, I don't know, I don't get it, but it's something I'm just tired of working with these kind of people. That feel so self-entitled to do whatever they want. But anyways, yeah, it's just kind of funny. Thank you guys for catching the Opochtli Podcast today, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you please subscribe.